In today's lesson, we're going to get to the core of the abuse that you endured. So, when it comes to narcissistic abuse, understand that narcissistic abuse is spiritual warfare. And what this means is you're dealing with an individual that was trying to break you at your core. So, understand that at your core, you are spirit, governing a human body with the access to tools, namely your mind power, your willpower, and your emotions. So if you are going through spiritual warfare, then again, this individual is trying to break you at your core. So you'll see where narcissistic abuse essentially includes every single type of neglect or abuse that you can think of. So it involves physical abuse, emotional abuse, psychological abuse, verbal abuse, sexual abuse, financial abuse, digital or online abuse, and spiritual abuse. They're trying to break you at your core. So understand that this individual will use any weapon that they have possible to bring you down. Any weapon possible. Understand that narcissistic abuse occurs when a narcissistic individual progressively manipulates and mistreats individuals to gain control over them. And they'll do this by creating a toxic environment full of emotional, psychological, financial, sexual, or physical harm. Narcissists exploit those around them through gaslighting, where they'll try to twist your mind. They'll try to twist your mind into believing that you did not see what you saw. They will sabotage you. They will love bomb you, which is another manipulation tactic. Because understand that pathological narcissists do not have love to give. They are based in their shame and they cannot move past their pride. Love is an emotion that pathological narcissists do not have access to. Love is way up there in the 500s, and pathological narcissism exists below the line of 200. So they'll love bomb, they'll lie, and they'll twist situations to suit their needs. And as a result, victims can suffer long-term consequences from their abuse. Narcissistic abuse involves emotional abuse via put downs, accusations, criticisms, or threats. So when you're dealing with a person with narcissistic personality disorder, again, people that are highly grandiose or highly superior, so they believe that they are better than you without merit. Again, this is their prideful nature. They are also individuals that require an excessive amount of attention, admiration, and validation. So they need you to boost their ego. They're also empathy impaired. So they do not have the ability to put themselves in other people's shoes. They do not have access to empathy. Empathy is a positive emotion. The most positive emotion that a pathological narcissist can feel is pride. So instead of empathy, what you're going to get is apathy. So you're dealing with very cold individuals. And also understand that pathological narcissists, people with the pathology, the patterned behavior of narcissism, are pathological liars. And understand that when we're talking about pathology, we're talking about patterned behavior, patterned dysfunctional behavior, patterned dysregulated behavior, because a pathology is the study of a disease. Clinicians are psychopathologists, you see. So they study disorders or diseases or dysregulation related to the mind power, the willpower, and the emotions. And pathological narcissism, narcissistic personality disorder, that you can find in the cluster B in the DSM. And the DSM is the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual for Mental Illnesses. And understand that the DSM is governed by the APA, the American Psychiatric Association. Understand that pathological narcissism, again in the cluster B, overlaps with ASPD, which is antisocial personality disorder, that which you may commonly call sociopathy or psychopathy. So you could be dealing with a narcissistic sociopath, or a sociopathic narcissist, or a psychopathic narcissist. It exists on a spectrum. So understand that when it comes to NPD, clinicians need 5 or more of the traits that are listed to diagnose someone. But I want to make it abundantly clear to you that if you encounter someone that has 1 or even 2 of these traits, they're going to be a highly disordered individual. So you should not wait until this individual gets to 5. They're going to be a very dangerous person. It is important as you go through the healing process and as you go through these lessons that you learn how to identify healthy individuals. Narcissistic individuals are not healthy. They're stuck in the 3rd dimension. They're stuck between shame and pride. This is a type of psycho-spiritual arrested development. They essentially are unripened fruits. And know that you get unripened fruits from plants that did not get the adequate nurturing. So that plant did not get enough nutrients in the soil, enough water, enough sunlight. So that fruit developed to the fullest state, but it developed unripened. And understand that you cannot put unripened fruits back on the tree because they're already fully grown. And this is exactly what you're dealing with when you're dealing with a pathological narcissist. There are parts of them that are underdeveloped, that are unripened. And this is how they are. This is how they developed. And they do not want to change because they're filled with pride, which means that they believe that they are perfect, and perfect people do not need to change. And pride cometh before the fall, so they're going to fall right back down to shame. They're in a shame-pride cycle long before you came into the picture. You were just witnessing the shame-pride cycle. They have been stuck here since childhood. Now, in another lesson, I'll get into why people end up being pathological narcissists. However, here again, I want to more so focus on the attack that you endured. Understand that pathological narcissists, again, will do anything that they need to do to break you, to keep you down, to keep you under their control. And this is how life is in the 3rd dimension. This is what you get from someone that did not develop past their lower ego. Again, we're talking about arrested development here. So essentially, you're dealing with toddlers that are stuck in adult bodies. And understand that when I state that they are toddlers, this does not mean that they are innocent. If someone is a toddler stuck in an adult's body, then there was something that went severely wrong. And this can be summarized in healer, author, and shamans Malidoma Patrice Ome's great quote, where he states that if you keep a person in an adolescent state, then they will act militaristically. So an adolescent state here means an unripened state, a childish state, a childlike state, a Peter Pan-like state, a Patricia Pan-like state. So when people are in this underdeveloped-like state, they will act militaristically. And this means that they're going to be, most often, a very volatile and violent person. It is very dangerous when you have a child in an adult's body. It's kind of like putting a toddler at the wheel of a car. They're going to crash the car. They do not have the ability, they do not have the motor functions to control a car. So understand that you cannot build with a pathological narcissist. They only destroy. That is what you'll get from someone that is stuck in the 3rd dimension. That is what you'll get with someone that is underdeveloped. They are unhealthy. They are dysregulated. They are dysfunctional. They are addicted to chaos. So understand that when you're dealing with a pathological narcissist, they will withhold money, right? They will give you that financial abuse. Again, they'll use any tactic that they have available to them. They will use the silent treatment, emotional abuse tactic, where they will just stop talking and stop communicating because they want you to chase them. They will isolate you, right? They will isolate you from your friends and family because that will be in their best interest, and that will make you easier to control. They will lie, and we're talking about pathological lies here. And understand that when we're talking about pathological lying, it is not like telling little white lies here and there. Understand that you're dealing with people that are addicted to lying. They are pathological liars. Again, there's that word again, pathological. So they will smear your name. They will talk ill about you to others. And they'll use other manipulative tactics that are in their toolbox. So again, understand that pathological narcissists do not have love to give. They have love bombing to give, and love bombing is the first step in the abuse cycle. So it is important to understand that pathological narcissists do not have the capacity to have mutually beneficial relationships. They have to be up, so somebody has to be down. They want to be master, so you must be slave. They are abuser, so you must be victim. And this is what you'll get from someone that is stuck in victim abuser consciousness.